One choke point has already brought global trade to a standstill. Now, Iran is preparing to tighten the noose. Houthis are now moving missiles into position above one of the world's most vital shipping lanes. If the order comes, two of the planet's biggest energy arteries could close at the same time. And the next battle may be fought not on land, but across the world's oceans. The Strait of Hormuz has been shut for weeks. Now Tehran is eyeing a second lever to pull. According to a Reuters report, Iran has told Yemen's Houthi rebels to stand ready to seal off the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, the gateway into the Red Sea, should Washington strike Iranian power infrastructure. The instruction, relayed through back channels, has not been made public before now, and neither Tehran nor the Houthis have responded to questions about it. On the ground, the group is already in position. Missiles and drones have reportedly been moved into the Yemeni highlands overlooking Hodeidah and the Gulf of Aden, aimed at the strait below. What is missing is not capability. It is the order to fire, one that Revolutionary Guard officers stationed in Yemen are said to control.
And then they actually add their own twist, chanting "Death to America, death to Israel," and then they add a curse upon the Jews. This is from the Houthis, repeatedly and on the record. So if Iran is willing to threaten the Strait of Hormuz, how long before the Houthis decide to once again mirror their benefactor, their mentors, their idols in Tehran, and try to shut down the Red Sea?
The stakes are not abstract. With Hormuz already closed, a second front in the Red Sea would knock out both of the region's major oil corridors at once, at a moment when energy markets are already absorbing the shock of the first closure.
It's also one of the main alternatives of the Strait of Hormuz. So, for example, oil flows through Bab el-Mandeb reportedly rose to around 5.4 million barrels per day in the first quarter of 2026, as producers and traders sought alternative routes during the Hormuz disruption. So it's already serves as a back door channel.
The timing could hardly be worse. Just this week, the Houthis fired on Saudi Arabia itself, accusing the kingdom of bombing an airport under their control and shattering a truce that had held for 4 years. Riyadh is said to be treating the threat with real concern, aware that the group is now coordinating closely with Tehran. The numbers explain why. Roughly 7% of the world's energy supply now moves through the Red Sea, much of it Gulf oil rerouted there after Hormuz went dark. Saudi Arabia alone sends 70% of its exports through the Red Sea port of Yanbu. A strike there would not need to be sophisticated to do damage.
So Iran does not control the Bab el-Mandeb geographically. To interfere with it, Tehran would have to rely mainly on Houthis, who control much of Yemen's Red Sea coastline. And the Houthis have already demonstrated that they can use anti-ship missiles, drones, and other weapons to make commercial navigation dangerous.
The calculation, according to those familiar with Iranian thinking, is pressure by proxy. Raise the cost to the global economy high enough, and Washington may think twice before hitting Iran's grid. The Houthis have not formally joined the wider war between Iran and the United States, but the drones are in place, the missiles are ready, and for now everyone is waiting to see who moves first. The Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical maritime choke points, has witnessed yet another serious incident amid rising regional tensions. Iran's Fars news agency reported that a cargo ship sank after colliding with another vessel in the Strait of Hormuz. According to Fars, all 23 crew members aboard the cargo ship were successfully rescued. Visuals circulating after the incident showed the vessel partially submerged before disappearing beneath the water, with rescue efforts taking place in the surrounding waters. Iranian authorities have not yet released further details about the cause of the collision or the identities of the vessels involved. The incident comes as security concerns continue to mount across the Gulf following recent military exchanges involving Iran and the United States. In a separate development, Reuters, citing the father-in-law of a missing crew member, reported that an Indian national who disappeared after an attack on the commercial vessel GFS Galaxy off the coast of Oman has been confirmed dead. According to India's Ministry of External Affairs, 10 of the 11 Indian nationals aboard the vessel were rescued. The confirmation marks the first reported fatality among the Indian crew following the attack, underscoring the growing risks facing commercial shipping in the region as maritime tensions continue to escalate. The confrontation between the United States and Iran is widening beyond direct military strikes, with both sides now issuing increasingly aggressive warnings over the future of energy security and the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical maritime choke points. On July 15th, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed it had launched attacks targeting facilities linked to the US Navy's Fifth Fleet in Bahrain, signaling what it described as another phase of its retaliation against American military operations in the Gulf.
The attack was aimed at command and control centers, logistics facilities, fuel depots, and military equipment sites. The attacks were in response to U.S. hostile actions, and the enemy should expect the closure of other oil and gas export routes that serve the interests of America and its allies. If Washington attempts to restrict oil and gas exports by controlling regional shipping routes, other export routes serving U.S. and allied interests could be shut down as well. Energy exports in the region would be for everyone or for no one.
Iran's warning came as the IRGC also vowed broader retaliation if Washington continued military operations aimed at controlling regional shipping lanes. According to the IRGC-linked Fars news agency, Iran also struck what it described as a critical facility in Kuwait on July 15th, triggering multiple explosions and a fire. The claims have not been independently verified, and there has been no immediate confirmation from Kuwaiti authorities. Meanwhile, the United States announced another major round of military operations.
U.S. Central Command completed an additional round of strikes against Iran at 10 p.m. ET, July 14th, hitting dozens of military targets near the Strait of Hormuz and Iranian coastal areas.
CENTCOM said the strikes were part of its continuing campaign to degrade Iran's military capabilities around the strategic waterway. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper also accused Tehran of escalating attacks against civilian shipping.
Over the past 7 days, Iran has intentionally targeted civilians across the region by attacking 7 commercial ships, resulting in nearly a dozen civilian crew members killed, missing, or injured. Iranian forces have also launched dozens of missiles and drones toward neighboring Gulf countries. U.S. forces are holding Iran accountable for unwarranted aggression that continues to endanger innocent lives.
As military operations intensified, Tehran hardened its diplomatic position. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Kazem Garibabadi ruled out renewed negotiations with Washington and insisted Iran would maintain its restrictions in the Strait of Hormuz.
The Strait of Hormuz will remain closed until the end of America's evils. Tehran would not be the first to return to talks after accusing Washington of derailing the U.S.-Iran Memorandum of Understanding through its military actions.
Garibabadi further argued that increased military pressure would not force Tehran back to the negotiating table.
Iran had not abandoned diplomacy, and it was the U.S. that had disrupted the negotiation process. Any assumption that increased pressure or military action could force Iran to seek talks was a mistake, as Tehran would not change its position on the Strait of Hormuz or ease restrictions it has imposed there. We will never request negotiations with the U.S.
In another statement, Iran's military claimed it had once again struck the US-linked Azraq Air Base in Jordan, which hosts American personnel. Jordan, the Pentagon, and US Central Command had not commented on the claim at the time of reporting. On the American side, President Donald Trump, speaking to Fox News on July 14th, made it clear that the military campaign would continue.
They'll continue until I say it's enough. I mean, they'll continue. They've been, the word the military likes to use is degrade. They've been degraded to a very low level. And they have fight. It's like a great boxer. You think you have him beat, and then all of a sudden he comes back and he gives you a shot. They have some fight left, but they don't have much. And
Trump also suggested the campaign could expand dramatically if Iran refused to negotiate.
as far as taking it is concerned, if we degrade them far enough and deep enough back, I would do that.
Do you anticipate that the strikes we're seeing this week against Iran will expand? Are you considering hitting energy targets or other locations inside of Iran?
I'll save the energy targets for last, but ultimately we'll hit energy targets, yeah. But we're going to hit them very hard tonight. We're going to hit them very hard tomorrow night. We're going to hit them very hard the night after. And then next week it gets really bad for them, because next week comes the power plants. Next week comes the bridges. We're going to knock out all their power plants. We're going to knock out all their bridges unless they get to the table and negotiate.
With Washington expanding its military campaign, Tehran threatening energy routes, and diplomacy appearing frozen, the Gulf region is witnessing one of its most dangerous military standoffs in years, with the security of global energy supplies increasingly at the center of the conflict.